Good afternoon, and welcome to the Wednesday afternoon conference call with Trust Unlimited. This is Jim George speaking. I'm the non-attorney spokesman and facilitator for Trust Unlimited. I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to this call, particularly those of you calling in for the first time and those who will be listening to the replay over the next 24 to 48 hours. Today's call is going to be a little different. I'm not in the office or at home. It happens to be my birthday, and I and the family are currently on vacation in Asheville, North Carolina. So we are not going to get into the full-blown program we've put in place to assist you or have the Q&A. It's kind of hard to do that from here because I don't have this system up where I'm located, and frankly, I'm up in the mountains, and sometimes the connection fades in and out, so I was a little concerned about that. For those of you calling in for the first time, I would strongly suggest you do go back to our call of August 5th, because on that call, and you can fast forward through the initial few minutes, but all of the information about our program, how it works, and the contact information will be there for you. Now, again, I am in Asheville, North Carolina. Very interesting place. Hopefully the revaluation of the dinar and some of these other currencies will happen in the next few months, if not the next few weeks. And, of course, when that happens, you're going to have a lot more time and money on your hands, so you're going to be able to do some traveling. I strongly suggest you consider Asheville, North Carolina. It's nestled here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's also the home of the Biltmore Estates, which is well worth a complete tour. Asheville itself was built primarily, its growth was during the height of the Art Deco period, so the downtown is absolutely beautiful. The place is known for its bohemian district, bluegrass music, and it's the #1 microbrewery city in the country. And it's also well known for some very quirky kind of Epicurean restaurants. So it's really a great place. The French Broad River goes right through, so they have kayaking, paddle boarding, and even some Category 3 rapids. So there's really a lot to do here in Asheville. I'm staying, again, at the Grove Park Inn. It looks more like a castle. It was built over 100 years ago. Originally, it was a sanatorium. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's rich with a lot of ghost stories and sightings and things like that. It also has something called the Grotto for the ladies. It is the #1 ranked spa in the world. So if you're interested in massages, pedicures, facials, utilizing the hot springs and all of that, it's all right there at the Grove Park. So I don't mean to belabor the issue, but I want to give you an excuse and a good reason why I'm not there for our regularly scheduled call. But I am going to provide for you the basic information with regard to where we are with the Iraqi dinar. Again, we consider the Iraqi dinar to be the base currency for the potential reset of these other currencies, and so that's why we follow primarily the situation with the dinar. Now, there is a lot going on internationally and in this country with regard to the Federal Reserve, the central bank, the international central banks, the rapid rise in the price of gold and silver, and moving into some of the cryptocurrencies. So there is a lot that portends the revaluation of the dinar and these other currencies. But first, by way of disclaimer, of course, Trust Unlimited is not the purveyor of the dinar and these other currencies. We're not advocating the sale or purchase of these currencies, but we're sharing with you the most relevant information as rather substantial currency holders ourselves. We're still looking at a window of as early as September, moving into January of 2020. So let's touch on some of the important issues. Now, the current Prime Minister of Iraq, Al-Kazemi, is planning a visit to the United States. The objective, of course, is to develop good relations with the Trump administration. to discuss Iraq's progress with regard to governmental reforms, their transition to a private economy, but also in hopes to avoid any further sanctions by the United States. What we first have to deal with in order to accomplish all of that are the things that the government of Iraq has to accomplish in the next, say, 30 days, with the hope of the revaluation happening closer to September than January. First would, of course, be the completion of the Parliament's directive to prepare a comprehensive economic reform plan. Now, the deadline for the submission of that plan is September 15th. They need to stop entirely all of the current currency auctions. The CBI needs to complete the deletion of the zeros. They need to execute the release of the lower denominations from the 8 regional banks. And in order for those two things to happen, they need to begin the official national program for the education of the citizens with regard to the reinstitution of their currency and how this will all work. Now, when the currency does reinstitute, we're looking at a rate of approximately 85 cents on the dinar per the U.S. dollar. That's going to rise certainly within a matter of a couple of weeks, if not days, to something, a slight premium over $1, say maybe $1.10 to $1.15 per dinar. The reason being very simply that they need to substitute the Iraqi dinar for the purchase of goods and services in country over the U.S. dollar, and that cannot be accomplished until the dinar has got a value at a slight premium over the dollar. Now, once that occurs, the revaluation globally of the dinar could happen as quickly as within a matter of a week or so. It will probably be closer to 30 days. But again, once that's been accomplished, then we can go to the banks and do our exchange. Now, the comprehensive plan that the Parliament has demanded of the Al-Kazimi government is plans for their transition to a private economy, their plan to neutralize Iranian interference, their plan to control the entry points with goods and services flowing in and out of the country, inclusive of a complete inventory of assets, products that are at these entry points, the release of the corruption files, and to add to that, the Al-Kazimi government has signaled that they are willing to file formal suits in The Hague against the corrupt pro-Iranian elected officials in Iraq, currently a number of approximately 41. So a lot needs to be done, but everything, once again, is proceeding in the right direction. So we're hoping for a reval sometime in September. We certainly do not see it possibly going beyond January of 2020, so we're only out about 4 months from then. But again, it looks as though a date closer to September. Now, one other point I will mention. We frequently point out that we would much prefer to see a revaluation early in a given quarter because of the tax implications that we need to resolve prior to the exchange of the currency and then the payment of U.S. taxes. So once we get to mid-September, it does not serve our purpose to have an actual revaluation. Now, the reinstitution could happen in September. Hopefully, if that's the case, we'd be looking at the reval sometime in October. That would be much better for us from a tax standpoint and from an exchange standpoint. The other issue would be the moratorium on federal taxes, which the president wants to extend to the end of the year. So it's hard to believe that they would exempt this exchange from any taxation, but we're living in very strange times, and I think after the number of years we've waited for this to happen, I think we're all due for a break. So hopefully that's even in the offing as well. So again, we're looking at a window as early as September, but in our view, no later than January of 2020. Of course, Iraq has been a constant disappointment in terms of their timing, but things are moving so quickly in the right direction that September, October seems like a very reasonable time frame for the reinstitution, and then in October, the revaluation of the dinar globally. So again, thanks for listening to the call. I'm sorry it's a truncated call for today. Again, I am out of town and on vacation. And those of you calling in for the first time, I strongly suggest you listen to our call of August 5th. You can get all of the information about the program we've put in place to assist you. It's very important information. You will have our contact information. You can contact us. We'll be happy to send you our initial no-obligation informative package, although it does contain everything you need if you should decide to proceed with the establishment of a trust. If you have any questions, you can contact us directly by phone or email. We'll be happy to answer any questions you may have and assist you in any way. There will be no consultation fee. Our next call is scheduled for next Wednesday. Certainly, if something of a dramatic nature were to happen between now and then, we will try to get out an emergency email and schedule an emergency conference call. But failing that, we will be back next Wednesday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thanks for listening, and have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.